Hello, in this video or tutorial, you are going to learn how to play the song Amazing Grace with simple and easy chords. The chords and the strumming pattern are discussed first, and then a demonstration on how to play it follows with chords, lyrics, and tempo to help or let you play along with the demonstration. So by the end of this video or tutorial, you would have a good understanding of the rhythm of the song and how to play it. And before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to my channel so you'd be notified with latest uploads. Okay, before we start learning chords for this song, let's have a short discussion about the fretboard of the ukulele. First is we have 4 strings. The strings are numbered this way. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And then these spaces, we call them frets. So this is the first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, fifth fret, and so on. For the left hand, we have the index finger as numbered 1, the middle finger number 2, ring finger number 3, and the pinky number 4. So that would be the notation for our left hand fingers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Now for the first chord, which is C or C major chord, for this chord, use your ring finger or number 3 finger on the first string at 3rd fret. So that would be here. The other strings are left open. Position your thumb at the back of the neck. So there, this is your C major or C chord. For the next chord, which is F or F major chord, you would have your index finger or number 1 finger on number 2 string and your number 2 finger or on the number 4 string at 2nd fret. So for this chord, you would have your number 1 finger on number 2 string at 1st fret and your number 2 finger on the number 4 string at 2nd fret. The other 2 strings are left open. So this is the sound of F. The next chord is A minor. For A minor, use your number 2 finger, which is this one, and position it on the 4th string, which is this one, at 2nd fret, and this is the 2nd fret. So for A minor, you would have your finger here. The other strings are left open. That's A minor. For the next chord, G or G major, your number 1 finger on the number 3 string at 2nd fret, so right here. Your number 2 finger on the number 1 string at 2nd fret, so right here. Your number 3 finger on the number 2 string at 3rd fret, so right here. There. So you have this shape for G or G major chord. And the last chord is a dominant 7th chord named C7 or C dominant 7. For this chord, you have your index finger on the 1st string at 1st fret. So right here, just this one. That's C7. Now let's talk about transition of chords. For this song, the chord succession goes this way. You begin with C first, and then it's followed by F, and then goes back to C, and then to A minor, and then to G, back to C, and then there's C7, then back to F, again to C, A minor, G, and again finally to C. So if you follow the fingering which I showed you earlier for the shapes of the chord, you would have an easier time moving between chords or transitioning between chords. So again, since the song starts with C, so you start with your ring finger, and then the next chord is F. And for the F, as you have learned earlier, is played with number 1 and number 2 fingers. So you have 2 fingers ready for F to move to F. So from C to F, that, right? And then the next chord is back to C. So you have your ring finger ready to play that chord. So there, C. And then the next chord, or the chord that follows this, is A minor. And earlier you have learned that A minor is played with your second finger since it's already there. So just position it here, and that's A minor. And then for G, you will have to form this shape. And then the next chord is C, and that would be for your ring finger to go down to first string. And then to C7, that would be your index finger goes here. And then back to F, that means your index finger goes up to this string and your second finger goes here. So that's F. And then back to C with your ring finger. And then the next chord is A minor, and that would be for your second finger over here. And then to G again. And finally to C. There. So that's how you should use your fingers for transitioning between chords. Okay, so we have discussed about the chords, the transitioning between chords, and now we are going to discuss about the strumming pattern, which is for our right hand. But before we discuss the right hand pattern, let's talk about the other details for the rhythm of this song. First is the time signature. Time signature will tell you how many beats are there in a measure, and it will also help you how to count. This song is written in 3/4 time signature, and that means there are 3 beats in a measure, and you are going to count up to 3. So your counting goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So at the fast tempo, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But for this song, it's a slow tempo song. So we can play it at this tempo: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the pattern that I'm going to suggest with you is actually a complex pattern. It's an advanced pattern. It's not a basic pattern, but you can follow it. You should be able to do it. But first is you need to learn how to count. And for this song, I want you to do an 8-note counting. And for 8-note counting, instead of just counting with those numbers 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna add up a character between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, and then between 3 to the next one. Let's use the letter N. So instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is actually a quarter note rhythm or quarter note counting, we're gonna do 8-note counting with the letter N between those counts. So at the same tempo, it's gonna be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, and that is 8-note counting. Now let's talk about the strumming. The strumming involves the right hand brushing the strings. When you brush the strings this direction, that is called downstroke, as the motion is going down. That's a downstroke. When you do the opposite, like it's going up this way, so that's an upstroke. And the symbol for downstroke is shown here, and the symbol for upstroke is shown here. So remember this symbol, as that will be your guide for following the pattern, as I'm going to show you later. If you are unable to watch my video made in the past, which is about ABCs of strumming, I suggest that you watch that video so you would have a basic understanding or a good understanding about basic rhythms. And just click on this card right now, as that will lead you, or that will link you to that video. So if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, subscribe now to get notified with every lesson that I'll be uploading in the future. Now here's the pattern that I'm going to suggest to you for this song. Since our counting is 8 note, and it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. The first stroke is a downstroke right at count 1, as you can see in this pattern. And then the next stroke is another downstroke right at count 2. And then the third stroke is an upstroke on the end between 2 and 3. And then the last stroke, or the fourth stroke, is another downstroke right at count 3. So as a demonstration for that pattern is this. I'll just mute the strings first so you could hear the rhythm that I'm suggesting to you for this song. It's going to be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. At a slower tempo: 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. You have to practice counting steady and even, as that will help you to be able to play on time throughout the whole song. If you are unable to count steady and even, then your playing would be like stop and go, stop and go. So your playing is not smooth, and you'll be left behind if somebody's singing for you. So I suggest you practice counting first. Do an 8-note counting: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And when you get comfortable counting that way, you have nailed it already, or it's already in your bag. Now try to follow the strumming pattern. So your counting would be your guide as when to apply the downstroke, the first downstroke, when to apply the second downstroke, when to apply the third stroke, which is an upstroke, and then the last stroke. So with chord C, it goes this way: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, right? So that's the pattern. And also if I play on another chord like A minor, it's going to be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, right? So practice this pattern: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now if you are able to do the pattern for several measures and you get comfortable doing that, you are ready for the demonstration of the pattern, which comes next. Now here's the demonstration on how to play the song with the suggested rhythmic pattern. And our tempo is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. hope you were able to follow the demonstration. What you have learned today is the harmony of the song. That is when you play chords. Now, if you want to learn to play the melody of Amazing Grace, just click this card right here. Also, the video or tutorial on how to play the melody of the song is also given at the end of this video as one of the end screens. So look at the two end screens. One of them would be the video on how to play the melody of the song. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more videos or lessons or tutorial in the future. And please do leave your comment. Let me know how you think about this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click the like and the subscribe button.